Nope.
Nung.
Song.
San.
Si.
Ha. Ho.
Jet. But.
Swadika. Shan Shu Jade. Shan A. Sipa. Vajaro Tukro, New Zealand.
Sawadee Cup, my name is Michael, and I'm 18 years old. So we found out in Thailand that Michael means not cool. And so every time I would introduce myself, they would laugh at me, and I'd have no idea why. Hello, my name is Uncool. I am 18 years old, and I am from Adelaide in South Australia.
Hello, my name is Anthony. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Adelaide, South Australia.
Swadee Cup, my name is James, I'm 14 and I'm from New South Wales, Australia.
Swadee Ka, my name is Kayla, I'm 14 and I'm from Upper Hutt, New Zealand.
Swadee Ka, my name is Ella, I'm 19 years old and I'm from Adelaide, South Australia.
Swadee Cup, my name is Riley, I'm 14 years old and I'm from New South Wales, Australia.
Swadee Ka, my name is Lauren, I'm 17 from Adelaide, South Australia.
So our team had the absolute pleasure of going to Thailand for our summer. So we flew here from New Zealand to Chiang Mai via Bangkok. From Chiang Mai we then met our missionary Bobby.
Hey!
And after meeting Bobby, we stayed the night at his place in Chiang Mai before driving to a place, the House of Hope, where we were staying for the summer, just about half an hour from Mae Hong Son.
But wait a second. What about the 6-hour drive before that? So you see, there is a 6-hour drive which is generally on one road, which is 1,864 bends, as most of our shirts say. And this road, because in Thailand they don't really follow the road regulations, so it was a very roller coaster experience for some of us, and some of us liked it more than others.
That's right, how could I forget? So after our wonderful 6-hour drive, we finally reached our accommodation, House of Hope.
And it was a wonderful accommodation because while we were originally expecting that the girls would be able to sleep inside, we brought tents expecting that the guys would have to tent outside. But when we got there, we found out that if we dismantled a bed frame, we were able to fit everyone inside, which was a huge blessing to us over this time. This guest house also had a bathroom, which included a shower and even a toilet, which generally functioned most of the time. An interesting experience that we had with this was when the girls managed to lock themselves out of their room. We had to practice their technique that we learned on the OC to help the leader over the wall with our hands up, eyes up. And he had to open up the roof tiles, go over and unlock the door from the inside to let them back in because the key wouldn't work.
And later the first night we got invited to go to an open air Christmas presentation. And in Thailand it is illegal to evangelise outside the Christmas period. So this was our one and only opportunity to share God in what we do. And we performed a couple of skits and did 2 songs, and this was one of the skits we did.
So House of Hope is a children's home just out of Mae Hong Son, and it's run by Bobby and Namata, a couple who were formerly involved with Team Missions as team members, team leaders and staff. House of Hope is home to over 30 children and teenagers, many of whom are from across the border in Myanmar. And at House of Hope they learn practical life skills for their futures, and also, most importantly, they are taught about God.
So whilst we were in Thailand, we had the absolute privilege of attending 2 of the local schools near us. So one of them, we got invited to their sports day, and we got to parade with them. We joined different teams, and we were invited to hand out different prizes, and we also were invited to race with them, which we all very embarrassingly lost. We also taught at this school and another school, so taught children aged 7 to 17. We got very good at our miming skills and also our animal noises.
So one of the other awesome opportunities that we had while at House of Hope was to join their evening devotions. So they had evening devotions every night, Sunday to Thursday, and it was at around 7:30ish. So we would start the devotions by singing songs. It was awesome to be able to connect with the kids on a spiritual level as well. So we sung songs that had both Thai and English subtitles. So we were able to sing together and praise in the same way, the same songs, even though we were speaking 2 completely different languages. Our 2 favourite songs to sing were 10,000 Reasons and Our God. Another awesome opportunity that we had during these devotions, we were all allowed to prepare a teaching and share it with them during this time. We rather enjoyed sharing it with the kids, as we were allowed to share with them, but also it gave us the opportunity to practice sharing our faith with other people, and to be able to share that was such a gift because they got something from it as well. At the end we found out that they really enjoyed hearing from us, and they loved the experience of not only hearing our stories but also finding out that they weren't the only people that shared their faith among people their own age.
On the December 31st, we had a half day of work, and then the rest of the half day we got to hang out with the kids, we played games and stuff, which was pretty cool. Then we had dinner with them that night, and which was nice, and then we went to bed, got up 3 hours later. We went down to like the eating area that they have, and we had this game called the White Elephant Game. Pretty fun. So it's pretty much where you get something completely random, whatever, wrap it up, chuck it in a pile of presents and stuff, and then like everybody chooses one, and then in the end everybody opened them up, and I got a wet tea towel and like this dish thing.
I got 4 used pencils.
And a shirt that turns my arms blue occasionally.
I got a box of rubbish.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny. And then we watched, we went down to the dam and we watched fireworks with them and celebrated New Year. Happy New Year's, guys.
So another awesome opportunity that we got to take full advantage of while in Thailand was church. So the first Sunday that we were in Thailand, we went to a church service at a local village where we presented, we sang a couple of songs, and Anthony prepared a sermon. And then we sat down on the floor with no shoes on, which was a new experience for all of us, and listened through their sermon, which was in Thai and quite hard to understand, although we had a little bit of help with translation from our missionary. The second week, we were at the House of Hope, and we had a church service with them, with the kids there. We sung songs again, and we shared like a presentation. We didn't have a translator that week though, so it made it quite difficult, although I think we got the point across in the end. The following week we were again at the House of Hope, although this time we had a translator, so it was much easier for us to get our point across. And then yeah, Thailand church, amazing experience for all of us. We all really enjoyed it and made the most of it while we were there.
And while we were at House of Hope, we had to build a garage and a greenhouse. And with these 2 projects, there was a ton of digging. With the greenhouse, we had to hoe an area about 20 metres by 10. And that took about a day. But in the middle of that, there was this big root. And we had to try and dig that out, which also took another day and a half. And with the garage, we had to dig into the side of a hill. So we had to constantly dig and dig at the side of the hill so it would be level with the front and also at the back. That was our digging experience.
While away in Thailand, we found out how truly well the Lord provides for us. We had many instances of this. One of the most memorable was when we were steel tying. So we had to steel tie a massive grid to put into our concrete slab. And so we bought our wire and we were cutting it and steel tying. Everything was going well. And we got about halfway and we realised we were really running out of wire. And sure enough, we did. And so we prayed and we went scavenging. And we found a bit of wire that was usable, but not tons. And so we were cutting the wire, continuing going, and we got about 3/4 of the way, and as about the person cutting the wire, I remember looking down and thinking, we are not going to have enough to finish this. And I looked away to talk to someone, and I looked back, and there was a bit more than I had originally thought. So we kept cutting, kept tying, and thankfully we had enough to finish steel tying the entire thing. Like properly, instead of the weird zigzag pattern that we were doing, hoping we would get far enough. This included a piece that we found in a puddle of mud and a piece that we found under the bucket. And it was just truly wonderful to see how well the Lord provides for the people doing His work.
So another example of the Lord providing for us was the day we poured the slab for our garage. This was a 12.5-hour work day, which was excruciatingly long and very tiring for all of us. We started off the day going relatively slow. We weren't making much progress at first, and it got to about 2:30 when our leaders decided that we should go as hard as we could for 45 minutes and see how much progress we made. So we did. We went as hard as we could for 45 minutes, and our leaders decided that we had done just enough in order to finish our slab in one day. And so we had to keep going like that, 45 minutes as hard as we could, then a 5-minute break, then 45 minutes as hard as we could, over and over again for the rest of the night. And it got to about 8:30 when it was getting dark and we were running out of rocks to put in our concrete. So this is when we began, we prayed first. We prayed that there would be enough resources for us to finish our slab. And then we began scraping together all the rocks that we could find. And the kids from the House of Hope came out and held torches for us, so we were able to mix concrete with some light. And we began scavenging and mixing up our last few batches of concrete, and all just working together for the last little bit that we could. We were pouring the last few buckets of our concrete, and it wasn't looking like there was going to be enough, but thankfully to God, there was just enough for us to finish our slab in one day and in one piece without having to go buy more materials. So that was just a huge example to all of us of how the Lord provides for us.
So during our summer, we all learned quite a bit. I personally just was reminded of how great the Lord's care for us is. I was reminded of how He looks after us, how big the circumstance and how small the circumstance. During one of my devotions, I was reflecting on all the things that many Christians do, just turning away from God, or like thinking they hear God's voice and then completely ignoring it, or just saying that they've heard it and then their actions not following that. And so I wrote this. Lord, I'm sorry for all the things I do against you. For as you call, I don't hear, and as you try to draw me near, I'll just shrink away in fear. Wrapped up in all my insecurities, when, Lord, you are so sure of me. It's hard to see what's the point when all I seem to do is disappoint, and I hide inside my little bubble of complacency. But surely, Lord, you are the key. Lord, I pray, abide in me. Sinner's heart lusts for treasure. Lord, my God, how could I ever forget to see the things that you do for me? I can be proud, I can be spiteful, but Lord, make the sinner your disciple. Humbly, Lord, I apologize for thinking I could ever evade your eyes, thinking I was worthless, but that didn't make me worth less in your eyes. Surely, Lord, you are the prize. But Lord, I am your masterpiece, my life mapped out piece by piece, and in that, in you, I'll find peace. My Lord, my God, in your image I'm created. Let this joy for you not be fainted. It will be painful, I will cry, but Lord, I pray, draw me nigh. Pull out the parts that you don't like, and Lord, please fill me with your might, that I might see like you, dear Lord. Please break my heart for what breaks yours. My Lord, my God, the words I speak, please may they not make others weak, but be truly acceptable in your sight, to bring others closer to you day and night. Please create in me afresh and new, and through me, Lord, may the world see you.
So this summer I was reminded of how prayer can be beneficial to us and the power of prayer and what it can do in my life.
This summer, whilst I learnt many things, one of the big things that I learnt was about perseverance and how important faith is in that and how it's reflected and influenced by our actions and our attitudes.
Over the summer, one of the things that I was really reflecting on was fervent and genuine prayer, and one of our memory verses this summer really kind of covers that. It's James 5:16. Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that you may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. And yeah, so that just helped me to remind me about how if you really care about what you're praying about and it's genuine, and God will see that and He'll try to answer that in whatever way that may be.
This summer I learnt persistence. I learnt persistence in learning my memory verses and, learning the Word of God. Through it I really struggled with learning all 40 of my memory verses, and I'm thankful for the leaders and what they managed to put together and help me through that time so I could finish them all.
Something big that I learned over this summer was just the importance of sharing the love and light of Christ. And during one of my devotions, I felt convicted to write a little written piece about this. Well, through songs of praise I worship you, and in those words I claim it true, that by you, Lord, I am adored, and in Christ's death I am assured, that neither height, depth, life, nor death could bring me even one hair's breadth from you. Yet even still it seems I stand ensnared in worldly dreams, for while I talk and sing and pray of the God that cares and loves and saves, I live as though a sinner still, embrace not yours but my own will. I sate the cravings of my flesh, while others live their lives of death. Ashamed I hide, embarrassed by a God who died to save my life, deny Christ's name 3 times and more. Ignore your call and yet call you Lord. How dare I claim your child be, yet live my life, not knowing thee. Your hands am I, and yet I lie in bed at home because I'm too tired, and leave the harvest still unlabored, dying, waiting for a Saviour, a lukewarm waste of what should be a living sacrifice to thee. Alone I can't be what I ought, so take my words, my deeds, my thoughts. Face down, I kneel before your throne, imperfect, scarred, and yet sin atoned. Through failure, loved by you still, so bend me always to your will. May potter's hands shape potter's clay, this vessel serve you every day. This life I live, now not my own but Christ's, to make my heart his home.
So over this summer, I was really challenged with how I speak, and so I learned a lot about speech this summer, how the tongue can be so destructive and so powerful, both life and death. And I learned a lot of verses in Proverbs and in Psalms about how to use your tongue, and you should tame it so that you can be the best person you can be.
So over the summer I learned that we have to rely on God for things and stuff. Yeah, and I'm going to explain why, because do my testimony thing. Yeah. So when I heard about this mission thing, I signed up and I was like super pumped for it, ready to go, you know. And then that kind of pumpation kind of died, you know, and I just stopped. I didn't really think about it much, and then I only started thinking about it a month before I came. Thought, oh yeah, better start fundraising that, you know, and got my boots a day before we came, so she'd be right. Yeah, so I turned up to boot camp, looked at all the people I'd be spending the rest of my summer with, and I was like, oh yeah. And then the rules came along, and I was like, oh rip. Okay, a lot of rules. So yeah, that was a real challenge for me, and I went through boot camp just so frustrated and angry at everything, like what I have to do, what I can't do, what pants I'm allowed to wear. And yeah, it was just really frustrating, and it's like been a constant pattern, like building up my anger and just like waiting till I snap and then building it up again. That was just like how I did things. And yeah, so that's what boot camp made me realize. And then when we went overseas, it was just like real eye-opening. Like I'm so like I feel like I'm ungrateful for things. Like these kids don't have everything, but yeah, they still carry on, yeah. And they just show each other love and respect and stuff, and it's just so cool. And yeah, so when I go home, I want to be that better person, and yeah, and just show the love like how they did. So yeah.
So we, just like the many hours we spent digging, we would look and then we'd look back and it didn't really feel like we got anywhere, even though we were digging the whole time. This presentation has only just been a very small pile of dirt of what we achieved this summer and what we experienced. So we look forward to sharing many more memories and experiences with you, and thank you for listening. Cool, come on,
Come.
Cool, great presentation, guys. I guess I just wanted to say, after a summer, I feel that I just really enjoyed leading you guys, and that I feel like I probably learned more than you did over the summer. My learning curve was quite steep, and often I would rub you guys up the wrong way, but you showed a lot of grace to me and often made fun of my mistakes instead of being grumpy about them, so that was good too. But I just really hope that you guys did find value in the summer, and that you've all found something that you can hold on to and you'll take home, and that that something has begun here this summer that will lead into something really great. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for being our team, and yeah, thanks for being awesome.
Alright, well, my name is Malika, and I'm one of the leaders on this team, and I just want to thank parents for sending your kids, and churches for supporting them, and prayer partners for praying, and team for coming and not quitting. Yeah, I have a little object lesson. I didn't bring it with, but it's a memory that you all shared. But I'll start with my Bible verse and I'll work backwards with just something that I want to send you out with, an encouragement. I just shut it. So it's a very familiar passage from Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 to 16. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. And I was thinking about this light, and I think we had a really great experience of the kind of light that you should shine. On our first flight to Bangkok, it was a day flight, but being a 12-hour flight and arriving at midnight, they like to pull the sunshades down on the windows and make the cabin dark so you can sleep and wake up in the right time zone. Except for one man who left his shade up and gave light to the whole cabin, who just happened to be sitting at the end of our row. And we had some real struggles trying to sleep, particularly team members stuck right in that light. And man, it was a light that gave light to the whole room, a town. And I want you to be that kind of light, because that kind of light is the light that really disrupts you, and it really stands out. It's not a little glow. It's not like the lamp that you put on above your seat. It's a light that keeps you up at night. And be people who will proclaim the word and speak into people's lives and be shining so brightly that you You disrupt their lives enough that they can't help but see the light. Okay? Don't hide it under a bowl, and just don't be content with a glow. Alright? Jesus is a bright light, and it's not really about you, the stand. Alright? He is the light, and shine him brightly. Alright? It's a dark world out there that needs you to be bold enough to carry that to the world. So be like the man on the plane, but with Jesus instead.
Hi, my name is Tim, and I'm a leader on this team. And what a team it was. And there's just a couple of things that I want to encourage you guys with. First thing is, and it became a bit of a theme of our trip, was a phrase that would frequently come out of our mouths is with purpose. Right? Maybe you guys were walking from place to place and you say, walk with purpose. And then we'd quicken the pace and get the arms pumping, or maybe we'd be working at concreting and we'd suddenly call out with purpose, or maybe someone was encouraging each other with a verse and it was with purpose. We can say that with purpose, and I want to encourage you guys. And I know that at one stage in the trip you asked me if I had one bit of advice for you guys. 10 or 12 pieces of advice came out, but if I could kind of summarize it, it would be to now live with purpose, right? Don't live your life chasing after random things, and don't just walk your way through this life wandering around and wondering where Christ is at and what he wants you doing. Seek it out. Live your life with purpose. Continue to stride confidently, knowing that he is striding along with purpose with you. And the other thing I want to share is a verse that stood out to me from 1 John 3, verse 18. Dear children, let us not love with words or tongue, but with actions and in truth. Some of the stuff that you guys came out with this summer as we were chatting through different Bible verses, or just even random questions while we were on the work site. Some of your plans and insight into the Word have been incredible. And I just urge you to let it become part of who you are, and let it become part of what you do. Don't let it just be talk that we had one time, or a discussion that was a cool idea to talk about. Let it work its way into your life, and let it be spoken out in love and in action to everyone that you meet, and do it with purpose. Thanks so much for being a part of my summer experience. It's been an honor to be your leader this summer. Thank you.